greet everybody today and those in Zoom land. This is Cari Shulkin. Most of you guys know me. I want to talk about falls, and I think the title of this talk is very direct. Just don't do it. Okay? Can you just not do it? And then, I could truly retire. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I don't want to retire. Okay. By a show of hands, and also who's out in Zoom land, how many people do we have on?
3.
Okay. Who has fallen in the last year?
In the year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is over 65? Okay. Does anyone want to share their fall story? Well, first of all, Sin, not the big one, but the little one, because I think you brought up something good about the shoes you wear.
So I was getting ready to go to Joshua Tree to go hiking. And the day before I was laying out everything in the hallway, so everything, my hiking sticks and everything. And I had little fuzzy slippers on my feet. And I was scurrying around and I came around the corner and the hiking pole snagged those slippers and twisted that foot and I went down and broke a bone in my foot.
Oh, no.
Took 5 months to get it to heal. Had to have a bone stimulator on it. Had to wear hiking shoes to work for 5 months. So needless to say, it was just as innocent as can be, right?
Yeah. So for those of you in Zoom land, she was wearing slippers around her house and it got caught on a piece of equipment and broke a bone in her foot and took forever to heal. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah.
Don't walk your dog.
Oh, walking the dreaded dog. What happened?
I tripped over mine. It fell over her and my face hit the concrete.
Oh, she was walking the dog, tripped over the dog, and her face hit the concrete. Anything broke?
Broke a tooth and my lower teeth went all the way through my.
Oh, she chipped a tooth and her lower teeth went through her lip.
Didn't chip it, smashed. Oh.
Nita.
So I was in a group of people were in my living room and my grand dog, okay, my son's dog was there and he loves me. And so I'm always petting him, but I went to take a walk and I stumbled over him and hit the floor this far from getting my head bashed in from the fireplace. But anyway, I got up laughing because I didn't want my family to worry about me, right? And I realized it really wasn't laughing. I need to be more careful around animals.
Yeah.
Because they're quick to move and I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. And someone else tripped, okay, over a dog. Yeah. Yeah, Edie.
I went to a party in the summertime and it was outdoors. And I sat out there for about 4 hours. And my grandson was way over on the other side of the yard and I got up and I wanted to say something to him. I got up, I walked about 10 feet and it was like somebody pulled a black curtain in front of my face. And the next thing I knew, my face was hitting the patio.
Oh, so okay.
All I got was a cut right here.
So another story is, yeah,
Yes.
someone sitting for many hours out in the sun, got up to walk and end up passing out. Yeah. Ugh. Anyone else?
Make sure you have night light if you're getting up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That's when mine happened. I walked into the bathroom, usually reach over to stabilize myself and the little door to the shower was open and I didn't realize it. I went like that and of course I went right back, right into
Oh,
the tub.
Good point.
yeah. Anyone else? I'm gonna have, okay, Nick. I specifically asked Nick to share his story.
Well, I've had a that I would like to share with you, but the first one, the worst one, was I was up in the tree. I had some limbs that was hanging over the fence over to, on the neighbor's house, and I wanted to trim it because it bothered me. Well, I had asked a guy to come and trim them for me, and he said he'd be there in a couple of days. But I was just anxious to get those limbs off. Climbed up a ladder, went up to that tree, and fell off of that ladder and broke 3 vertebrae in my back. I thought I had killed myself. And it was frightening because my neighbors, I mean, all the neighbors heard me yelling when I fell, you know. And lucky thing that they came and helped me. But my wife had just told me, don't get up in that tree. And I was just anxious to get those limbs cut. And climbed up there anyway, it was less than 5 minutes time, she had just told me. But I suffered the 3 cracked vertebrae. Fortunately, I healed very, very fast. Very fast, you know, I spent a day or 2 in the hospital. It's been quite a few years now. Well, 14 years, something like that. But that was frightening. And I had another incident where I got up to go to the bathroom. Thought I was okay, and I just got up too fast. Stumbled. I thought I had tripped over the cord or something, but it wasn't that. My equilibrium was off and fell and landed in the corner, and my wife had to call paramedics to come and get me. But I didn't pass out, but I was just yeah, I couldn't move, couldn't walk. But those are some of the things that happen. We have to be mindful of that. There's certain things that we can't do. We realize we can do and we can't. Another incident, I had a friend that another friend, husband had passed away, and she asked him to come up and put some lights on the top of her house for the holidays. And he got up there, put the lights off, and fell off the house and killed himself. Killed himself. Wow. So we have to be mindful. I was just devastated because I know he was trying to do good. You know, it just so happened. It's too old to be getting up there.
Right.
There's certain days we have to be mindful of every step we take. You know, every move we make, because it may be fatal to us.
Right.
Okay, just a second. So let me just tell the Zoom people your story. So first of all, Nick got up on a ladder after his wife told him not to. He still got up on the ladder to prune some trees. He had someone coming in the next few days, but was too anxious to get going on it and fell and broke some vertebrae. That was one fall. And the other one was getting up too quickly in the middle of the night and probably just got dizzy and fell. Yeah. And then a friend of his helping a neighbor putting lights up on a house fell off the roof and died. So yeah, we need to be mindful. Someone else, Tom, wanted to say something.
Sounds like most of these are age related rather than heart related.
Yeah. 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 And okay, Tom said it seems like this is more age related than heart related. There's another common thread. It's been mostly men telling the stories. Just kidding. That's not, that's hearsay. That's just my own observation. Women don't do it. Too smart. Too smart.
Don't go on the ladder.
Famous last words, right?
It's ladder. I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's that independence, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I've talked to a few people in the afternoon sessions that talk about, oh, it's so hard to get someone out to help us with the gutters and, oh, we've been doing it for years. We'll be fine. And I'm just thinking, please, let's talk about the statistics because the statistics are coming from reportable falls and how people, what actually happens to them. And there's a whole evidence-based way of looking at your age and falling and the consequences. And we just have to be smart about it and not be, stubborn. And then of course, listen to your wife.
Rebellious, what a rebel.
Rebellious, yeah. Okay, so how big is the problem? So falls are the leading cause of injury for adults age 65 years and older. Over 14 million or 1 in 4 older adults report falling every year. So I'm getting all this information from the CDC, which used to carry a lot more weight, but this is good statistics. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death among adults ages 65 and older, and the fall death rate is increasing. Now, if you think about that, the fall death rate is increasing. We're also living longer, older, okay? The age-adjusted fall death rate increased by 41%. If you look at like 53.3 per 100,000 older adults in 2012 to 78 per 100,000 older adults in 2021. It's just going up. So it's something we need to be mindful of, very intentional when we're walking around our house, when we're thinking about chores that we're doing, if we're living alone, that kind of, we just have to be very mindful. In 2020, just an guesstimation here, 1.4 million Californians fell in 2020. Were you one of them? So what happens? What are some of the outcomes that are linked to falls? Well, I think we heard injury, right? What kind of injuries, right? So 20 to 30% of people who fall suffer moderate to severe injuries, such as cuts, hip fractures, head traumas. It's the most common cause of a TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury, which some people don't come back from. Very, very serious. I hope I'm scaring you. Most fractures among older adults are caused by falls. The most common are fractures of the spine, the vertebrae, the hip, of course, your forearm, because think about it, if you're falling, you're trying to break your fall, right? Your leg, your ankle, your pelvis, upper arm, hand. I mean, what bones have we not talked about? Your teeth. We need to add that, your teeth. Yeah. So there's a lot at risk, a lot of consequences from falling. It makes me think of, I was in my office at home and I was adjusting something behind my screen and I couldn't reach it. So I got up on my roller chair. Yeah. So stupid. And then I'm off balance and I'm reaching and the roller chair moved out and I went down where I have the most padding, hit the arm of the chair, and then I hit the floor. And I didn't get hurt. My ego was hurt. And my soft parts were very bruised. But it was awful. It was so stupid. It was so stupid. And it taught me a good lesson. Many people develop a fear of falling. This fear may cause a downward, debilitating decline if you become very, very fearful of falling. And so what does that mean? So let's talk about that. We see it all the time. Like nurses see this. We see this a lot. So there could be a fall. And then all of a sudden you know, you got to raise your awareness, but maybe it becomes this fear. Now I'm fearful of falling because what if I end up on the floor and no one finds me or no one knows that I'm down, or I break a hip, or, you know, goes on and on and on. So all of a sudden you start doing less because of this fear. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to fall. So you know what? I'm just going to stay in. I'm going to be nice and safe. I'm going to be good. But that's decreased physical activity, which then decreases your physical ability. So now your muscles are getting weak. You're having less engagement. There's this whole cycle of kind of a downward decline. Because as your muscles get weak, guess what? You're at an increased risk of falling. So here comes the whole circle, that whole cycle. So we can't be fearful. We have to be smart. Just harder for some than others. I realize that, huh? Nick? Yeah.
Very much so. Be smart.
So having said that, I do want to talk about something that Linda, myself, Leanne, Sharon, we all got certified to teach this class, and we've done it a few times in the program already. It's called Matter of Balance. And it's starting up. It's really to address that fear of falling. It's 8 classes. We meet here every Friday from 11 to 1. And we talk about, it's really a group discussion about kind of the psychological things that happen when we talk about falling, but then we problem solve. And we have physical therapy come up, and Linda does a bunch of exercises, which we incorporate in every one of our circuits that help with building those muscles to help us with flexibility, with balance, with core, with strength. All of that is important to help you not fall. And if you fall, maybe prevent that fall, or if you do fall, that you don't get hurt. Okay, so I want everyone, you can talk to us at the end of class or at any time. There's a sign up over in the corner for the Matter of Balance. We do need people to sign up. Yeah.
I'd like to say something.
Yeah.
Had I not been in physical shape to come through the fall that I had, it wouldn't have healed as quick as it did, because I've had no more problems within the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. You mean falling from the ladder?
Yeah, from falling from the ladder, because I was in pretty good physical shape.
Yeah.
At the time, it's because I was exercising. And
Yeah.
trying to stay in shape. But
Yep.
had I not, I would probably been plagued with pain and so.
Well, that's interesting. So Nick said that he was in pretty good shape, but Nick and I had a discussion before I asked him to participate in this lecture, because I wanted to know how old he was when he got up on that ladder, if he was 65 yet, and he thought he was.
Yeah.
But he was in cardiac rehab at the time.
Yeah.
And he was exercising. And so I asked him today, you know, does your back bother you? Because I mean, granted, it was 15 years ago, but you break 3 vertebrae, you know, you must have some residual limitations. None. And he says it's probably because he was in such good shape during the fall. Yeah. Okay, so is there any good news? I mean, do we have to talk about the gloom and doom of falling and the debilitating limitations that it can cause? So I've got a couple videos that I want to show you. So I may need help with this. Should I just click on this?
Yeah.
Performance, durability, affordability. Only one place does it all.
This is just
Harbor Freight.
Commercial.
It's not just our eyesight and hearing that start to fade as we get older. Millions of seniors.
Okay. Can anybody hear that? barely. So how can I increase the volume?
Our eyesight and hearing that start to fade as we get older. Millions of seniors also lose their balance. In fact, falling is the #1 cause of
It's
injuries
up all the
among
way.
the elderly. But as Adrienne,
Okay, there we go. Okay, let me start it.
it's not just our eyesight and hearing that start to fade as we get older. Millions of seniors also lose their balance. In fact, falling is the #1 cause of injuries among the elderly. But as Adriana Diaz shows us, researchers in Chicago have a high-tech approach to an age-old problem.
This stumble was no accident. It was for 81-year-old Mary Kay's own good. Mary is one of the hundreds of senior citizens coming to Dr. Clive Pye's lab at the University of Illinois Chicago to learn how to fall with lots of help. The seniors who fall here are less likely to slip in the real world. This is Mary when she first came 4 years ago. This is her now. She's learned to stop herself from falling.
They will be walking and not feeling anything different. And then the next time they are walking, all of a sudden, it's like they intentionally step on a banana peel.
Seniors reported falling half as often after just 2 hours of simulated falling. The results lasted a year, according to Dr. Pye's study published in June. The learning happens subconsciously. Though cognitive memory tends to diminish in the elderly, Dr. Pye found that his subjects' muscle memory is sharp. Their bodies learn how to correct for a fall after a few controlled stumbles.
It's almost like they learn the dance moves. They know the footwork after they made a mistake.
His findings could have a big impact. Falling is the leading cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries among the elderly, costing the healthcare system $30 billion a year. 1 in 3 adults 65 and older takes a spill at least once a year.
It's an awful thing to happen to you, and it happens to a lot of us. I mean, we are a falling generation, I guess.
You can see this right foot, instead of swing through, she actually stayed in the back. She lifted up, but she put it down because that is what is needed to overcome the backward falling.
Dr. Pye invited me to try, but increased the settings to the highest level. The first fall was ugly, but the second wasn't as bad. Dr. Pye hopes that same muscle memory learning can one day be taught to seniors around the world so they can move forward with confidence. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Chicago.
Isn't that cool?
Hey, did you know that?
Okay, so oh, there's one more I want to do though. Let's see.
You can just go back into the date then.
So have you guys heard about that? Muscle memory to help. I love that. That's very encouraging that our muscles will remember quicker than cognitively that we do not, but our muscles will remember how to right ourselves. I think you were talking about that. That you didn't you say that earlier in the class? Yeah.
You mean that I started to fall?
Yes, and you were able to catch yourself?
Yeah. Twisted my ankle, stepped in a hole, twisted my ankle, and I was able to keep myself from falling.
Muscle memory.
Well, I have to tell you what I read recently.
Yeah.
It's not muscles. It changes your brain.
What changes your brain?
Learning something like that. Learning to ride a bicycle, it changes your brain. And that change stays in your brain.
Okay, let's one more. Not yet. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kat, and
Okay,
I'm
the volume needs to come up.
and exercise therapy.
The volume.
And I'm the director of rehabilitative and
It's already
exercise
maxed out,
therapy
so
here at the
it's
Power
on your
Gym.
YouTube.
I'm also a Power Moves therapist, And my goal today with our Power Moves of the Month is to really work on how to practice falling. So our goal is to practice falling in a really safe way so that we can then prevent actual falls and injury if falling in the future. So
Any ideas?
we're going to start.
Let's try just increasing overall computer audio. Like hover over that. Let's see. And then turn that up. Okay, wait. Give me 1 second. Let me go over here because if it's really loud, then they will.
Yeah, we don't want to blow anyone's ears out.
Rehabilitative and exercise therapies here at the Power Gym. I'm also a Power Moves therapist, and my goal today with our Power Moves of the Month is to really work on how to practice falling. So our goal is to practice falling in a really safe way so that we can then prevent actual falls and injury if falling in the future. So we're going to start with a chair. Usually when we fall, we want to aim to avoid really tight bony areas like the side of the hip and the side of the shoulder. We want to get as many meaty parts down on the ground as possible to absorb that fall. And one of the goals is to avoid stopping the fall completely because sometimes we get more injured by doing that. So what I like to start with when people are nervous about falling is grabbing the chair and practice going down with a side twist and just getting down from here. And then we get to practice getting back up again from hands and knees. Come back up on the chair, step, and power up. Then once people feel comfortable with that, what I like to do is take a step stool, and we practice the same thing with the idea that if I fall, I don't want to have outstretched arms because that can often lead to injury up the arm. So I want to aim for landing on my side. So I have the person grab, twist, and land, and then come back up from here. We can rock back, use our power step to come back up again, all the way up. And then once that becomes more familiar, then what we can do is actually practice in slow motion again on a soft surface, like maybe even the bed if somebody is uncomfortable, but on the floor, on a mat, we can practice getting down into our squat position. We roll, back up, practicing going on hands and knees, and from here, standing completely. Once that is more comfortable, then you can do it a lot faster. So we could go from this position and we can practice actively going down, rolling back up, and then powering up from here. And so using our power moves, we can really work on safe falls and how to get back up right again.
So who can get up off the floor? All of us every day should be on the floor and getting up off the floor. Because someday we're going to need to do that, right? Someone may not be around, so we should be able to do that. And there may not be a chair close by, but we can get ourselves either crawling or butt walking to a chair, something. But from a down on the floor, back, getting up off the floor is a necessity for independence. Did you want to do anything or want to wait to the end? If you want, I'll leave it up to you.
So, you guys have seen me fall down, right? I do it all the time. You've never seen it?
Wow.
So I agree with this lady pretty much 100%, but I would never encourage practicing falling. I would, like Cari said, practice getting up. And the things you need, and we do this all the time if you work out with us, is we work on all the parts that matter. And the parts that matter, one are strong legs, right? So you can push up. And we do a lot of this stuff. So this ability to rotate and to get your shoulders going is super helpful for falling down. And the other, can you think of somewhere else where it's helpful to have some strength to get up?
Did you already?
Core, but your quads, your arms, okay? So, in the matter of balance, we did those little arm push-ups. Those are good things to do. Anything where you're basically pushing your body weight up, you need that ability. So those are the things that you should do, be working on, is strengthen your quads, strengthen your arms, and this rotational ability to roll into things. And so it's not the falling that's bad. Falling is bad, but it's not so bad that you fell down. It's that you hurt yourself when you fall down. So if you are going to fall down, you want to fall and not hurt yourself, which is why she's rolling into it, and landing on the meaty, fleshy parts of where you have stuff that to support you. So, do you want me to do more than that?
Did you want to fall again?
So, the thing about falling that I commonly talk about is that you obviously, you want to fall right, but it's not like you're stumbling and you're about to fall down and you have the ability to say, okay, I need to do step 1, step 2, so I can fall right. Right? You don't have time to think about all that. So the most important thing that I tell people to think about is to think small, which is what this lady was doing. Okay. So if you stumble and you know you're about to fall, you really want to kind of curl into yourself so that when you fall, you're not having protruding parts, you're protecting your head primarily. So if again, the things that we do where we focus on shifting our weight, those are helpful things, because if you do start to fall and you can catch yourself, that's you're ahead. I'm so proud of Ron McIntosh, who told me he was somewhere and he stepped down this really tall curve that was taller than he thought. And it took him 3 steps, but he caught himself and he didn't fall down. This is what he said to me. So I was somewhere and there was this giant curve. I stepped down it and I was about to trip, but I caught myself after 3 steps. So thank you, he said. But he's the one who does it, right? He's the one who's taking good care of himself. Very proud of him. Those make me proud moments.
Wherever you find yourself, you're gonna fall backward.
Yeah, I have a video for that in Matter of Balance. You want to basically try to land on your butt. So if you are starting to fall back, you want to get down low so that you're going to land, butt first, and then try to not bonk your head. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
You don't have lots of time to think about it.
Yeah.
So think small. Think small. So you can roll into it, just like that lady did. So let's go over to getting up, please. So once you're down, what do you do? Okay. So again, depending on how you land it.
I've shifted it several times.
If you're on the floor, because you fell, you guys, depending on how you landed, and if you broke anything, then obviously you're in pain, maybe you can't move, but you have to do something. Obviously, what's the one thing that you certainly want to do?
Reach for yourself.
Get to a phone. Call somebody, okay, to come get you. And maybe we're actually gonna have Dot come in here and talk about the little, alert buttons that you push. Maybe you have one of those, whatever. You need to let somebody know that you're having a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're down, Ron has one, great. So depending on where you are, you probably want to get up. And at least you want to sit up so that you're comfortable. But if you're laying down and you fell, getting up from your side, right? You would typically want to roll to your side. And again, here's where your arm strength is important. So you'll push yourself up. And once you're in a seated position, and more than likely fall over to something, a table or a chair or whatever. You can get on your hands and knees so you can fall over to something. You don't want something with wheels, to be honest.
Thank you, Carrie.
That's secure, so you can be next to it and then get one foot up. Use the strong quad muscle that you have to push yourself up and up. and then you could be safe. That's getting tough. And again, that's the part I would encourage you to practice.
Yeah. Most,
Uh, About when you're laying on the floor, especially if you're laying on your side, using your elbow would help a lot when you get yourself in a position, the elbow in your hand
Right,
in order to get up. That prevent the back from getting injured too.
Right,
You
right.
can't
but
move your back.
you want some strength in both those places, right?
Yeah.
And again, that's where your rotational ability comes in. So this is actually a really important aspect of fitness that us really inflexible, or you really inflexible individuals should think about, because that's, you have to, this, the ability to rotate really helps you. And when you can't do that is when you're more compromised.
most Apple Watches have the ability to recognize when you fall, and it can notify people if you're down.
Mine does.
Yeah.
Before that other accident, I was walking over to Rhonda John's over by Campus Commons, and I had my phone and I was, of course, looking at it and walking, because it's sidewalk, right? But and I didn't see the limb that had fallen onto the concrete, and I fell and my phone went flying.
Oh.
So I couldn't call anybody, and they were still 10 minutes from the house. And so I was able to finally get myself up, and then that's when my daughter said, "Mom, get an Apple Watch." So that time I fell at the house, I told you, my watch said, "Do you want me to call 911?"
Yes, please. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
So Nita, it sounds like you have a bit of a fall history.
I'm being more careful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noticed that my reflexes used to be a lot quicker. And especially when I rode my bike, if something happened, like I'm going up a curb and I hit a stone or something, I could react and correct myself. I can't do that anymore. Now, when that happens, I just go, well, I'm gonna go down.
Yeah.
Just, it's not there.
It's not the same. We're not 20 anymore.
And people your age have quit riding bikes for reasons like that. I'm not telling you to quit riding your bike, but I'm just mentioning that.
Get a trike.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
You said get a trike. Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have an encore performance at the end of the, maybe not. Anyway. How many times do I have to fall? So how can we prevent falls? That's the big age-old question, right? So exercise regularly. It's important that the exercises focus on increasing leg strength, improving balance, and that they get more challenging over time. Tai Chi programs are especially good. They incorporate all of that. So when we do intakes on everybody coming into the program, we tell them all of our circuits really focus on what Linda just said, you know, flexibility, balance, core strength, all of that. And it's about keeping you upright. That's the main thing. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to review your medications, both prescription and over the counter, to identify medicines that may cause side effects or interactions like dizziness or drowsiness, which then can lead to falling, or even having your blood pressure drop, like being orthostatic. Your blood pressure fluctuating, whether you're standing or sitting, and that type of stuff. I want to talk about the nurse's point of view, because whatever nurses learn when you're a nurse at the bedside in the hospital, it can translate to home stuff. So I just wanted to share this. There's the 5 Ps of fall prevention. If you're a nurse, but take this to heart. This is something that you can kind of take inventory of yourself if you're at a greater risk. So I would think, you know, am I in pain or is my patient in pain? Assess for and manage pain, as it can impair mobility and balance. So if you're in pain or you have a bad back, that may put you at a higher risk of falling. Or if you're taking pain meds, right, you can be a little impaired that way and fall as well. Using the restroom, potty. Another P is potty. So ensure the patient has access to a bathroom or a toilet and is able to use it safely. So if you're impaired, if you're limited and impaired in some way that walking to the bathroom becomes risky, we can use bedside commodes, something where you're just standing and pivoting. It's not fun, but you know what? It's better than falling. The other P is position. So check the patient's body position and make adjustments as needed to promote stability and balance. So I think about my mother-in-law right now. She has scoliosis really bad and she uses a walker and she has fallen. So it's always stop and think and take inventory of your body in front of that walker, like slow down, just slow down and think about your body position and then make adjustments so that you are safe. Another P is personal needs. So provide necessary assistance and personal care, such as dressing, bathing, and using assisted devices if needed. Now, sometimes, and I'm again thinking of my mother-in-law who just was so resistant, and my father-in-law, to getting people in the house to help. Well, that became a problem in itself because my father-in-law, wanting to do it all, as a 90-year-old, could not do it all. And so he was putting himself at risk. He was putting my mother-in-law at risk and giving all of us heart attacks on the daily because it just was such a very unsafe environment. And place. Remove potential hazards from the environment, like clutter, cords, slippery surfaces, things like that. Just take a look at your house. Take a look at your bedroom. Do you have a clear path to where you need to go? Okay, how can we prevent falls? Here's some more ideas. Have your eyes checked by the eye doctor at least once a year and update your eyeglasses to maximize your vision. Now, I've heard some people talk about when you have the progressives or bifocals, you know what I'm talking about? And you're walking or you're looking down or you're going up or down stairs, that can be an issue, right? Because you're going from different eye fields and it can be a little disorienting, especially if you're going up or down stairs. Do you have bifocals or
I have
progressives?
I'm telling you, when I'm done hiking, everybody goes, aren't you sore? I said, only my neck, because I'm looking down all the time.
Yeah.
Because of that whole depth perception thing
Oh.
and how you see on the lenses.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
So do you have different glasses? Should you have different glasses when you're walking?
No.
Because you want to see up close on what you're not stepping on a snake.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm tripping on.
Or tripping on a rock. Yeah. Or a limb. So consider getting a pair with single vision distance lenses for some activities such as walking outside. Make your homes safer by reducing tripping hazards, adding grab bars inside and outside the tub or shower next to the toilet, adding railings on both sides of the stairways, and improving the lighting in your homes. These are easy things that if you go through your house right now, do you think you could identify? And when I was putting this together or updating it, I kind of went through my house and it's like, I need to put some light bulbs in and light up some of these rooms a little bit better. Yeah. So just looking at your house in a different, because we get complacent, right? We all get complacent. So looking at your house in different eyes, like it's a safety measure. And maybe you'll pick up on some things that will prevent a fall.
Carrie, you
Yeah.
mentioned eyes, but not ears. So hearing also affects our equilibrium and
That's a good point. Good point. And we have audiology right here. So being able to hear correctly that's a good thing as well. To lower hip fracture risk, older adults can make sure your vitamin D level is appropriate. So just don't start taking supplements, but ask your primary. And I think it's pretty much standard now that most people get vitamin D levels done. to see if you are within normal limits. Do weight-bearing exercise. What's that? What's weight-bearing? Anybody? What does it mean? Is riding your bike weight-bearing? No, it's carrying your own weight. So now, like people who are very, very arthritic, that may be difficult. So maybe they do want to swim or they're not carrying their weight. But weight bearing really is really very important to keep your bones strong. So weight bearing exercises is really important, like walking, walking on the treadmill, things like riding the bike or the physio step. You're sitting and you're not carrying your weight with those exercises. It's good cardio. You're getting your heart rate up, but not doing a lot with the bones. Get screened for osteoporosis and treated if needed, right? That's your bone density scans. Okay, checklist for hazards in each room. That is not my bedroom. Just, it could be, but it's not. Okay, so make sure there's a clear path to walk through a room, right? Especially before you go to bed at night. Path from your bed to the bathroom. If there's any clothes, don't have to pick them up, just push them off to the side so you get that clear path. And in the yard too, pick up the rake. Don't leave the shovel out. And the hose. Have you been watching me?
Been paying attention.
Remove rugs or anchor them. I prefer removing them so they don't slip. That was one thing I did in my mom's house. There was a little rug she had on top of her carpet. And it's like, Mom, get rid of that. She's like, but there's a hole in the carpet. You're going to fall on this freaking little rug. Get rid of it. Yeah, she finally did. It was terrible. Yeah. Keep objects off the floor. Coil or tape wires or cords so they're not out for us to trip on. Stairs and steps inside and outside. Clear any objects off your stairs because it's just something you can trip on. Fix uneven or broken steps. And make sure the lighting is good. Overhead light and switch at top and bottom of the stairs, right? Fix loose carpet on the stairs. Fix loose or broken handrails on both sides of the stairs.
Can I say one more thing
Yes,
about the
please.
stairs?
Yeah.
Don't wear socks.
Yeah,
I fell because I had socks on.
if you've got wood stairs, wearing socks or slippers on stairs. I don't like slippers.
I had to wear shoes, put them on, pull them down.
Yep, that's a good idea. Thank you for that. Okay, how about your kitchen? So place frequently used items off the top shelf. How many times have I gotten up on a chair when just around the corner, I've got a really great step stool that has the big handle up on top, so I've got something to hold on to. Just take it off the top shelf. And use only steady, a steady step stool that has a bar to hold on to. So don't do anything fancy like on the no side, like putting your ladder on stairs or anything crazy like that. And please don't step on your dog to get to your counter. That's not good either. And then your bathrooms. This is where most of the falls happen. So a non-slip rubber mat on the floor of the shower or the tub. And support bars. I think those are everything. For your shower, for your tub, for your toilet, any of that. And your bedrooms. Place a lamp close to the bed where it's easy to reach. You know what? I have a lamp now that is, it's just a touch. You know, like I don't have to twist or anything. There's just a button and I don't even have to look at it. I can just touch it and it goes on. It's very nice. What are those called? Night lights. Night lights can save us, right? Just plug them in so your path is lit up from your bedroom to the bathroom. Yes, I'm going to give you some resources of who will do this. Put a night light on so you can see where you're walking. Other things to do to prevent a fall. Okay, so exercise regularly. I'm preaching to the choir because what are we doing? We're exercising, right? See your doctor regularly, review your meds for any that can cause dizziness, sleepiness. Get your vision checked. Get up slowly. Let's accept that we're over 65 and our bounding days are over. We are no longer bounding out of bed. We're not bounding out of the chair. We're not bounding anywhere, right? Right. No more bounding. We're just sitting, or if we're lying down, we're getting into a sitting position and waiting. And then we're standing and waiting and then walking. So our bounding days are over, and that's okay.
Don't walk fast.
Don't walk fast either. Yes. Wear shoes inside and outside. Avoid barefoot or slippers. I can remember our house was relatively new, and I had asked my mom, "Oh, can you take your shoes off before you come in the house?" And she's like, "No, I'm not." And I'm like, "Mom," and she's like, "No, I'm keeping my shoes on. It makes me more steady on my feet." And then I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm not going to be the bad daughter. You wear your shoes. That's fine." Improve lighting in your home. Consider fluorescent or the LEDs now. Paint a contrasting color on the top edge of all steps for better visual. You know what? That's a really good idea, and I have seen it. My in-laws have a step down living room, and it's it's wood steps. It's very dark. And they now have a light, and they have got a red tape because people have fallen. And I have a step down in my living room, and my neighbor, oh my gosh, he came over and he's like, "Oh, I love that picture." And he goes walking and did not realize it was a step down, and he caught himself. But I was just like, do I need to start putting red tape down or better lighting?
Carrie, you've been asking yourself that question for a year now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I have a few other really great resources. This Stop Falls Sacramento Coalition, let's bring this one up. Oops, here. So this is something related to the matter of balance. So if you get a chance, just peruse this website because it's got really great information. They have a grant that I think is ending sometime this year, but in this, there's a lot of great information. And let me show you one other, I think this is also part of Stop Falls Sacramento Coalition, is Aging in Place Specialist, where there's a whole resource of people that will, going through the SAC Coalition, that will modify your home, I believe free. They will come in and assess your home. And if you need grab bars, you need light changing, you need something for fall prevention or to make sure your house is safe, give them a call. They're called, what did I just say? In-home specialist, or I can't remember now what I called it. But good information. Aging in place specialist. Okay, so this will be available on the PowerPoint, so you can access this through the website. I have one more video I want to show you, and I just want to hear your thoughts on this because it's kind of funny. It's not funny, but tell me what you think.
Prop 50 threatens what voters built. Voters approved an independent commission to create.
Okay, let's turn this down a little bit.
fair election districts. Prop 50 destroys this good work. It's a direct attack on democracy that tears away the power of choice. Protect democracy.
I do
No
not want
on
that.
50.
Okay, here we go. I can't make it full screen.
Serious falls can happen anytime, anywhere. The impacts can be devastating and long-lasting. In seniors living in nursing homes, residents fall at twice the rate of individuals the same age living elsewhere, and the resulting injuries are a growing problem. While only 5% of the elderly population lives in seniors' homes, it's where 20% of elderly falls and accidents occur. Residents with hip or knee replacements, Parkinson's, epilepsy, osteoporosis, or diabetes are especially at risk. Fall injuries not only reduce the quality of life for residents and make operations more difficult, they can be very costly. Injuries are the leading cause of lawsuits against nursing homes, costing the senior living industry $50 billion a year in lost revenue and unnecessary costs. Finally, there is a simple but revolutionary solution to this costly problem. The Guardian Air Vest is an innovative new technology that helps protect your residents wherever they go. The Guardian Air Vest is equipped with proven and reliable airbag technology. It constantly monitors the body's state, and in the event of a fall, it immediately deploys airbags to cushion impact on key body parts, like the head and hips. Rigorously third-party tested and approved, the Guardian Air Vest reliably and fully inflates within 0.08 of a second. It's also quick and simple to deflate, repack, and reuse. Expanding on existing health-forward and fall prevention programs, the Guardian Air Vest supports keeping your residents out of the hospital and living their best life at your facility. The number of seniors is growing. The number of nurses is falling. The Guardian Air Vest bridges the gap with the support you need. Learn more about the Guardian Air Vest at v6co.com or call.
So you.
Linda could use those.
So honestly, I almost thought that was like an Saturday Night Live skit, right? There's about 100 on Amazon. These are legit. The technology is there, but let's just talk about this, because how brilliant that we have the technology that it can sense the movement of falling. And there's a ton of videos that show the guy doing jumping jacks and squats, and it's not deployed. It's with the act of falling that it's deployed, and you see it hits the head, the hips, the shoulders, and it deploys immediately. And it's like, that's freaking amazing. So what's the downfall?
What's it cost?
Oh, I didn't even look to see. Cost could be one.
Wear it all the time.
Doesn't look too bulky. It's a vest, but yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. But did you notice, maybe you didn't notice, but they all fell backwards.
Yeah.
They all fell back. And what happens when we fall forward? They came up some, but our instinct is like what Linda said, the first thing you want to do is catch your fall, and then you're breaking both your arms. So I guess the vest with the thinking small and rolling is the answer to that. But is that crazy or what? Have you ever seen anything like that? Is anyone wearing one right now?
Thing I was looking at, I used to work for, law firms for a month. And what I was looking at was that these nursing homes are just trying to protect themselves from all the suits, basically. And they can probably make their residents wear those. But I've never seen any. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, the innovation was from China, and it is, who knows if it's going to come out this way. Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, it is good to take them. I think.
ARP has designed one as well, and it's just a belt.
Right, but it expands everything.
No, it just deploys this area, so there's a bouncing happening,
Oh.
You bounce and back up on your feet, you're. We'll get Linda to demonstrate.
How can I get back? Hmm. Okay, so thank you for not falling. Okay, now the fact that I've said it out loud and we're all thinking about it, who's going to be the first one to fall this afternoon?
Nick always does what his wife tells him.
Yeah, Nick learned the hard way. He always listens to his wife, which you just don't fall anymore. Yeah. This is where I typically, what questions do you have for me? Well, I have one. Can you get up off the floor if you have fallen? So I think, we do that. If you're doing any of the circuits, we're on the ground and we're getting up. So I think make a pledge to yourself to do it once a day. Be on the floor and get up. Don't fall, but just be down on the floor and get up. It's just something that we should be doing.
And planking.
Leanne wants everyone to plank too, but
Build up that upper body.
yeah, probably a good idea. Are there any questions? Anybody?
Doing push-ups.
Yes, Linda said that, having that arm strength. Nick said it too, being able to push yourself up. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Anything for upper arm strength. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Really like night lights. We've got a couple of them in our bedroom, bathroom area. And I've got a couple that I put in my travel luggage so that in hotels it's
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
dark.
Disorienting. That's a really good idea. When you're traveling, throw a nightlight in. Yeah. Any other thoughts, ideas? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Several points to hit.